All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the New England Patriots in tonight's video. 1-0 at the time of this record and taking down the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincy, 16-10. We're waiting for Drake May, right? But the point is for me, and it was my point the entire summer, is I do think the Patriots are a lot closer than people think. And I think it was on full display in week one. I'm not going to overreact, and nobody should overreact taking down Cincinnati on the road in week one. You should give credit where credit is due. And I do think this New England Patriots team deserves respect, and they're way more competent than people think. And that's just more so my point. Teams start slow. New England, especially offensively in the passing game, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't even that pretty. There's talent, man. Rookie right guard, right? You got a stud freaking running back. You've got a really intriguing, young, quick, flashy wide receiver room. And this defense is littered with studs. And I saw this statistic earlier today that really just puts everything in perspective. Across the National Football League, fewest points per game allowed since last November of 2023, including playoffs. Number 2 is the New England Patriots at 16.8 points per game. Number 2. Number 1, Las Vegas Raiders at 16.6. Number 3, Kansas City at 17.7. And number 4, Baltimore at 17.8. And my point just is, this team was getting clowned the entire offseason, and I just never really understood it. Are they Super Bowl contenders? Are they even playoff contenders? Probably not, and probably not. But what they're building, especially new head coach Rob Mayo, super young, it has me excited. And I can't wait for Drake May to take the field in a regular season football game for this squad, hopefully at some point this season. But before we get any further into tonight's video, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. We'll try and post as many Patriots videos as you guys humanly want. If we can get this one to 100 likes, folks, that would mean the absolute world to me. But a great example is going to be Keion White. And we're going to get to him in just a second, but just talking about that Cincy game real quick, 2.5 sacks, 3 quarterback hits, and a forced fumble. Sorry, I had to cough with this in here. Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, I know I say this in a lot of videos because there's a bunch of under-recognized, underrated players across the National Football League. Ramondre Stevenson is at the very top of that list. Very top of that list. 120 rushing yards, 25 carries against the Cincinnati Bengals this past weekend. Drake May obviously didn't start. Jacoby Brissett, nothing too crazy. 121 yards, and even no Patriots receiver had more than 31 receiving yards. But once again, like Javon Baker, Jalen Polk, I just really like the future of this team. So let's just talk about Keion White. The Patriots defense, like we just talked about, giving up 16.8 points per game since last November. Gerard Mayo was not worried. No Patriots defensive player was worried. DeMarcus Covington, your defensive coordinator, also certainly wasn't worried. The only thing the Patriots are technically maybe lacking on the defense is name brands, right? It's like shopping at Aldi. Like, it's the same type of stuff. It's the same type of quality. It's just missing that Whole Foods stamp on it. That's what you get with the defense. And so the New England Patriots, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, traded away Matthew Judon, one of the best edge rushers or previous edge rushers in the last couple of years, away to Atlanta, right? Keion White is a huge reason for that. This was a second-round draft pick last season. Once again, like we just mentioned, 2.5 sacks, a huge reason that New England was able to have so much defensive versatility, because if your edge rusher is giving you 2.5 sacks, a couple of quarterback hits, a forced fumble, like, you don't need to send the house at them. You can stick with a 4-man pass rush, and they're still going to get to Joe Burrow and that quarterback. So Joe Burrow, nothing going. 164 passing yards on 29 attempts. His expected points added left him right next to Bryce Young and Daniel Jones for the worst of the entire NFL Week 1. And obviously, like, I think Cincinnati's a playoff team. I think they're, actual legitimate Super Bowl contenders. New England might have, changed that discourse or that conversation from Week 1. But, since he gets off to slow starts, but the point just is, everyone was more so freaking out about the Cincinnati Bengals offense. No one was really given flowers. No one was really given props or credit where it was due to this New England Patriots defense. Now, obviously, since he wasn't at full strength, and once again, I still think they're going to be a really good football team, especially in the AFC. I think they're right there with the Kansas City Chiefs as far as who can take down Kansas City while they go for their three-peat. I think Cincy is right there on that list. T. Higgins obviously didn't play, but this defense, man, all it's missing is name brand. It's just all they're missing. And the point is, you don't need name brands to have a good, competent defense. They held Jamar Chase to New England held Jamar Chase to 62 yards, forced 2 turnovers, limited the Bengals to 224 yards overall. I'm telling you, man, this team is a lot better than you think. And whether Jacoby's starting or Drake May's starting, or you have offensive line concerns, or you have wide receiver talent concerns, it doesn't matter, because just like since November, this defense is actually going to keep them in almost every single football game. Now, you're going to have to eventually score points or more than 16 points. And, Jacoby's going to eventually have to throw for more than 121 passing yards, probably this upcoming Sunday against Seattle. And then I think you guys have San Francisco and New York Jets, a couple of tough defenses and a couple of talented offenses. But this isn't the worst team in the National Football League, all right? Christian Gonzalez is a great example of it. This kid played 4 games last season. He was huge. Him and Keon White were huge to the reason Cincinnati did not get that victory at home against New England. He held Jamar Chase when targeted or covering him to 3 catches for 14 yards. Yeah, he might only have technically 5 regular season games played, but he's the future of the cornerback position with this team. And even just on topic, like Marcus Jones, Jonathan Jones, man, like these are underrated, talented kids. Marcus Jones missed most of last season due to that injury. Jonathan Jones has remained extremely under the radar ever since he's been in the National Football League. But let's talk about the offense real quick. Ramondre Stevenson, MVP of the game, 120 yards and a touchdown. The offensive line didn't really help. A lot of people were concerned about that offensive line. Of 39 qualified running backs in week 1, Stevenson ranked 36th in yards before contact, So he was hit very early on. That right side looks a lot better than the left side. But he ranked 2nd in yards after contact, right behind Aaron Jones, according to PFF. He had 10 broken tackles. That was the most in the league. Double the next highest total per PFF. Like, he's a freaking beast. And the offense, and the Patriots offense in general, no matter what positional group it was last year, was extremely underwhelming. So it's not going to be right away. Obviously, Jacoby versus Drake May. Drake's, a lot more versatile, a lot more creative, can do a lot more things. But Jacoby is cool, calm, collected, and he can get you victories, or he can at least keep you in it to get victories. So this was Ramondre's 5th 100-yard rushing performance of his career, and most notably the first since 2022. And I think that's a good example of, the talent this team has and just how bad things really were last year. This is not the worst team in the NFL, and it's not even close in my opinion. Thank you guys for watching today's Riff and Raff Friday video. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, and give me a score prediction for this upcoming weekend against the Seattle Seahawks down below. And if you want more Patriots videos, also let me know down below. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you soon. Peace.